In this section, we'll talk about Maya's basic interface. I'm sure that through our previous experience with Maya, such as in modeling or animation, we've already gained a basic understanding of its core operations. So here we will focus on some interfaces commonly used in Maya rigging. The purpose of this section is to give us an intuitive understanding of what these windows and interfaces are used for. As for how to specifically use each tool, we will explain them one by one in the following chapters. First is the menu bar. I believe everyone is already very familiar with this. We can find all our commands in the menu bar. Here we first need to switch the menu bar to rigging. Here switch from modeling to rigging. This way, after the Windows command, it will display all the command menus corresponding to rigging. Later in the process of learning rigging, we will constantly use these commands. Next is the middle interface, the viewport. I believe everyone is also very familiar with this. Everything we create ultimately needs to be visually presented in the scene to be rendered. In terms of interface layout, rigging usually brings up another interface called the outliner. You can find this icon from the toolbar on the left, or you can find this outliner under Windows in the menu bar. This is very important for rigging. It not only shows all the objects in our scene, but also shows us their hierarchy relationships. For example, the grouping you might have encountered when learning Maya before. Select an object, then we press Ctrl+G. We will see in the outliner, our original object has been placed under a newly created node called Group 1. More detailed operations in the outliner will go over later on as we move forward. Here we just need to remember that when rigging, we need to keep this interface open at all times. Next is the interface on the right. An important one here is the channel box. It's this thing. I believe everyone is already very familiar with this. When we usually translate, rotate, or scale. For example, if I select this object now, I move it, then rotate or scale. Correspondingly, we can see the changes in its values in the channel box. You can understand the channel box as the operation interface that the rigger ultimately presents to the animator. All attributes the animator needs to adjust will appear in the channel box. So as riggers, we must ensure the channel box given to the animator is clear and easy to read. Hide all attributes the animator doesn't need to touch. Another very important interface on the right is called the attribute editor. You can find it from the icon in the upper right corner, or you can also press Ctrl+A on the keyboard. This can also bring up this interface. As we just mentioned, the channel box is the operation interface presented to the animator. It only has necessary attributes that the animator needs to adjust. The attribute editor basically covers all attributes of this node. We can make deeper modifications to this node in this interface. For example, if we switch to the PQ1 tab, we can see there are more attributes in here. There are also some common tool interfaces. For example, this icon in the bottom right corner. Or you can find the script editor in Windows, General Editors. We can control some operations in Maya using programming commands. This is also a tool we often use in rigging. Also, like in Windows, there is the node editor. As the name suggests, this is a tool for editing Maya's internal nodes. This is also a very important tool for riggers. We can say we will use it for every rig we make. We'll explain the specific operations in detail later. Also, like for example in Windows General Editors, there is the connection editor. It can connect attributes together. Likewise, we will use it gradually later. So that's a simple introduction to the basic interfaces for Maya rigging. Hopefully, through this video, we've developed an intuitive understanding of these two windows, making it easier for us to learn what comes next. See you in the next video.